welcome to the show. We at Trucking Life welcome you all. Now, pull that rig over, hit the head, grab a drink and snack, settle in, and let's get this show on the road. And now, your host.
Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm tired, but I am home. How are you?
Wonderful.
Good. Where are you guys at today?
So I just barely got stopped just east of Des Moines here in Altoona at the Flying J. Iowa.
Iowa.
Iowa. That's right.
My friend Ashley calls it Des Moines.
Des Moines? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, where are you guys heading?
So we are, so I'll tell you, so it was kind of funny because I just got up this morning and threw my hair up in a, whatever. And so I flung into the parking lot and I hurried and went live on Live and Love and Truckin'. And I was doing my makeup, talking to everybody this morning. And I was like, okay, we're going live on, Sunday Brunch here in a few minutes. Hurry, come watch, while I was doing my makeup. I'm like, you guys are my mirror. And they're like, okay, well, then there's that. But we are going to drive to South Bend, Indiana tonight. And then we're going to have breakfast with Lori Leach and BK tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm so excited. And then we will, after we get done visiting with them for a little bit, we will head south and unload in Baltimore, Maryland on Tuesday morning. And then we'll run over to Richmond, Virginia, and reload on Tuesday. We have got an oversized that's going clear to San Diego, and it's way oversized. It's 14.6 tall and 11.3 wide. So we're going to be permitted, hopefully without escorts, all the way across the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be you're going to have a lot of fun this week, aren't you?
It'll be a long drive, but it'll be great.
Yes.
It'll be great.
Yeah. Hey, Lance. Yeah. And for everybody who knows, I can barely see comments, so I've got my glasses ready.
Right.
But I am going phone shopping since I'm home this week, so hopefully I will be able to start looking like I know what I'm doing instead of just sitting here like da 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 da.
Right. Oh, there's Heather.
Heather is back, and her and Pat are on the road. Where are you guys at?
We're in Indiana. Yeah, we're in Signalville because every time he would stop, it would be like, nope, sorry. But then we're in Gary, Indiana. But as soon as he starts driving, our signal came back. So it's what it is.
Yeah, that's okay. This is called trucking.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You, so Laura, you guys get to see her. I kept getting so close to her this weekend. I was tap dancing all around, but where she was at. So it's like, at some point, I hope to get exactly where she's at. So that's awesome that y'all get to meet up with her. So yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. And she just commented, she was like, and hopefully we'll have some time to go through Notre Dame because she's got the clicker. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to make time.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Hi, Celinda. Hi, everybody. I keep seeing all the comments come by. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to everybody. And as long as everybody's interconnection stays put today. So I'm home and my internet doesn't even like me enough. So I went back to data. So here I am. We're doing it. We're so excited about today's show. So
I'm so glad that you are home and getting to breathe and just get some time off. It's much needed.
Very much needed.
Hard.
I've been running hard for 8 weeks and didn't realize my old body is, probably 5 weeks out from when I should have been home. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm playing catch up. So it's great though. As soon as I got home, the grandbaby was right there. So it's like, yeah, we're having really good fun. So, and she finagled Grammy into buying a pool last night at Dollar General. So I know what we're going to be doing this afternoon. So
Right.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So we've had fun. My room it was so pretty. I got home like, oh, everything's so clean. And then it looks like, Destruction Path of Mari.
That's all right.
It's all good though. It's all good. Where are you guys? Heather, where did you say you guys are heading to?
We're going to Minnesota.
Minnesota. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's cooler up there than it is down in these parts, because last night it was like my face was going to fall off just walking out the door, and that was like 9:00 last night. So
Oh well.
I don't know how it is up there, but the humidity of Tennessee we have not been friends forever, and definitely not friends now. So
It's pretty nice right now.
Huh?
I was just gonna say it's about 88, so it's warm, but it's not really high humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, today's July 4th Eve. So, and it's Tom Cruise's birthday today. Everybody says it's on the 4th, but I got into it. I didn't get into it. Some 60-year-old trucker tried to tell me that Tom Cruise wasn't 60 on the 4th when I said he was. And so I'm like, okay, you're right. It's the 3rd. And this know-it-all did look at least 60. And Tom Cruise still does not look anywhere near 60. So, yeah. But that's one thing I'm going to be doing tomorrow is going to see the movie. So super, super excited. So, yes.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. I've heard it's great.
Haven't seen it. We've been wanting to see it, but
Oh, it's so good.
It's supposed to be out streaming September, I think somebody told me. So you don't have to wait too long.
no.
No.
It's so good.
Yeah, I bought the original on Amazon Prime just to refresh myself, because I hadn't seen it since the original days, and it just felt like it took me back to the original days. So
Yeah.
super excited to just go on into it and see what it's like. So, all right. Not that I want to put a shameless family promotion out there, but both my boys were in the military. And so I just wanted to give both of them a shout out as a proud mama. I was an Army Navy mama. So there's John, or JD. He went into the Army straight out of high school. And he now looks like part of the Duck Dynasty crew. And did a short stint pulling campers for a company out of Elkhart, Indiana Transport. So he got to do a short stint on the road, not as a CDL, but he was out there pulling campers, seeing everything, and getting the chance to stop out west at some of the places I've been bragging about. So I'm just super proud. He's a mechanic by trade, so he's doing good. And there's Trayton, my oldest, a Navy boy, Corpsman. He was with a Marine unit in Iraq. And there he is. I'm holding up, it's probably a gift of koi. He is an apprentice under the koi master Ken Liu out of Barstow, California. So he's out in the desert living his best life, learning the trade, and probably at some point we'll go to Japan and Taiwan and all the other places learning the trade. So he has infiltrated the koi community and absolutely loves it. So I'm proud of both of those boys. So
Way cool. Well, thank you to you as their mama, and thank you to them for serving our country. It's men and women like them that are the reason we enjoy the freedoms we do. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and it's such a journey, because I didn't come from. I mean, I had a couple of or several uncles that have served, but as far as immediate family, I hadn't. So going in as a military mama was it was an adventure, especially when your first one goes straight out of high school, a couple of weeks out. And then he was stationed in Korea early on. So that was a really, the journey was something. And then by the time Trey got in, it was like, oh, I'm an old hand at this. So
Right. I got this.
yeah. And so I'm super proud of both. And he ended up going on to Iraq. He was stationed out in California. And of course, he's met his wife. That's where he met his wife. And they met previously. And it just kind of all worked out. So he's a California boy now. And with his long hair, I tell you, he looks like a cross between Willie Nelson and Jim Carrey. So if they were ever to legitimately have a child, that's my son.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, but I know the military has given them both, the journey that they're on now. It wouldn't have been possible without what they did. So I'm super proud of them serving for the country. But also, as far as their personal journey as men, I just love the fact that they have the stories that they can tell,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, as a mom, I think that those type of experiences help lay the foundation for them as men going into their life. It helps kind of build that foundation for the rest of their life, in my opinion, I think.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's a great experience for them.
Yeah, and I feel that too. And I feel it gave them the foundation to be the responsible people and accountable for what they do. And so, even in this industry, and that's why I'm glad we're doing this show today, we see so many truck drivers. Sometimes you can almost tell by the way they carry themselves and by the way they treat everybody or their truck. Like, they're military, and you can tell.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of times you really can. I would agree with that.
Yeah. And you don't have to have the decal on your truck, which I absolutely love all the trucks that have anything to do with the military,
Me too.
But you can tell sometimes it's ingrained in them now. So I love the fact, and I'm glad that we're talking about it now. And I'm glad that, I think they said it's 10% is at least better. At least 10% is veterans, in the industry. So I'm glad.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so ladies, what is on? I know both y'all are on the road. So what's your all plans for the next? Are you guys going to do any kind of stopping tomorrow as far as celebrating the holiday? Or are you guys just taking it just to reflect and relax? Or are y'all just running hard as usual?
For us, we were going to stop and barbecue and just, enjoy some festivities or something somewhere. But we decided to change our plans, and we're going to spend our time, with a couple of friends, with BK and with Lori, and enjoy that time. And then we'll just work the rest of the day tomorrow, and reflect and enjoy that time together. And enjoy, like last night coming into, we stopped just outside of Omaha, and I got to watch the fireworks, as I was parking. So that was kind of cool, and we'll do that again tomorrow probably too.
Yeah.
What about you, Heather?
We're probably just going to get to the customer and stop, but I'm sure we'll see fireworks along the way because last night, the whole drive before we stopped last night, there was fireworks on both sides of us. Everybody was shooting fireworks, so we got to see it, which was cool. Yeah, so we'll just hang out like we normally do.
Awesome. How about you, Missy? Besides playing in the pool with that grandbaby, what else you got planned?
That's pretty much it. I think we might do a little grilling. It just depends on the heat. And I'm so tired. I'm telling you what, somebody give me a burger. I really want a steak. If somebody gave me a burger and a hot dog tomorrow, I'd be happy. So I don't think we're going to go to any fireworks show. Of course, my daughter's like, are we going to get any fireworks? I'm like, do you have fireworks money? So at this point, I might take a drive and maybe go get some for the grandbaby, some little stuff. So who knows?
Yeah.
It just makes you run inside. And it's one thing I hate about the Tennessee humidity, it's like, I think I sweat like a pig. Oh my God, I sweat like a warthog when I come home. So yeah, it's even worse. So
I understand.
Yeah, but we're just going to enjoy it.
And Ange is on vacation. Steve surprised her. I just saw her pop up. Steve surprised her with a little weekend getaway. She's at the beach and in a beach house or close to the beach. And so I hope that they are having a wonderful time.
I
Love
do
you, Ange.
too.
We miss you.
Yeah. Hey, Ange. Yeah, Ange is. I think she's coming back to being human. She had been sick for so long, and I'm so glad to see that she's finally on the mend. She had me worried there for a while. So.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. So that's great. Look at Steve getting them brownie points. Man, Steve, you
I
get
know.
10 brownie points from me, and I'm not there. Yeah.
Appreciate the invite, Ange.
Yeah, exactly. Well, why don't we take a quick commercial break and let's bring on Amber, who served, and she's one of our newest podcasters. And let's bring her beautiful face up so she can light up a screen with us.
Awesome.
Okay. There's Amber.
Good morning.
Good morning, Amber.
Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so what's happening to me?
Yes.
Right?
Where are you at and where are you heading?
Currently in Michigan, like 15, 20 miles south of Reed City. I'm actually going to be doing a pickup in Kalamazoo, going to Johnstown, New York for Wednesday. So the pickup isn't until tomorrow. So yeah, the pickup isn't until tomorrow morning. So I kind of have some downtime. We're at a rest area that has some grills. So hubby's outside grilling up some kebabs. We actually had a delivery at a Sam's Club store yesterday. So since we were members,
awesome.
Hey, let's go ahead and grab some stuff. And since I already knew what my load was going to be, I was like, I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and grab some things, and we're just going to throw some kebabs and some burgers on the grill.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's nice.
I'm excited about that because I was like, oh, it'd be great if we could, grill and, at least try to do a pre-celebration. So,
right.
Missy, is that your daughter?
Yeah, that's my daughter, Dallas.
I just woke up.
Yeah, that's my mini-me.
Hi, Dallas.
Hi.
What up?
Hey, my best mom ever.
I'm glad to be home, can't you tell?
Right?
Yes, definitely. I just came back from home time. I didn't go home. I actually flew to Germany to see my 18-year-old graduate from high school. So I know what it's like to be able to be around loved ones, period. So.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. I always tell you, I'm loving the, I'm missing a grandbaby, and I'm like, I even miss you too. She's like, thanks, Mom.
Oh, my mom, I owe her like $80,000. Oh, my mom, so much money.
You gotta love the adult children.
Yes.
That's one of the things I love about social media, Amber, is that we got to live vicariously through your experiences while you were over in Germany and watch your, fun activities with your daughter. I'm so excited that you got to go over and do that. That was way cool.
Yeah. And I love seeing the trucks, how they do things over there. Like Sundays, they don't work. Like unless it's like humanitarian or emergency, they shut down. Like
they shut down?
Do not run. They
That's
shut it down
awesome.
on Sunday. And that's pretty much almost everywhere. Like outside of gas stations and like limited like restaurants and grocery stores, everything shut down. It's family day. Like it's family day. There's no malls. Yeah, there's no malls.
Wonderful. That's
Mhm.
way cool.
yeah. So, yeah,
That
That's
I
is
was
way
like,
cool.
dang, why can't we implement that? Maybe
Right?
why can't we
They
implement that when we
totally,
have a day where we shut down?
we totally need to do that.
Yeah, if we
Yes,
shut down, America would shut down, and then it would be our fault. So hey,
yeah, but then they don't. It's like they don't respect the truckers, but then they want the stuff that we have.
Right.
exactly. Yeah, you see so many memes on Facebook, and sometimes those are the only thing that gets you going through life, especially when you're having a really hard day or a hard week on the road, and then you see something and you're like, oh yeah, that's how it is. So
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it's funny that some people don't even realize like the sacrifice we make as mothers, fathers, people in general, to get that stuff
Mhm.
on the shelf, like I'm carrying Boston but pork roasts yesterday. That's what I delivered. And I thought, all these people cutting me off, and it's like, if it wasn't for me out here, you wouldn't even be getting these pork roasts, them barbecues wouldn't been
Right.
happening, and so nobody knows what's out there, So I mean,
Right.
crazy. But here we are, we're out here killing it every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly how
Mhm.
it is.
Okay. Well, Amber, we started talking about, importance of, the fourth. And of course I had to give my kids shameless, a shout out for being in the military. So
Yes.
this is your moment, your platform to tell us your journey. I know you went in pretty much straight out of high school, didn't you?
Not. It was a few years. I went
It
in
was a
at
few
20.
years.
I
At
was
20.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at 20. I was 20 years old, and I
Uh-huh.
went in. Both my parents actually served, and both my paternal and maternal grandfathers served.
Okay.
One was Army, but the rest was Air Force. Both my parents were Air Force, and so it was kind of like in me, like I want to do that. I guess that's what I want to do. I've always wanted to travel,
Mhm.
and oh, look at young me.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to
Young
travel.
you, so cute. Oh my goodness.
I've always wanted to travel, so I was like, I wanted to go into the military and
Uh-huh.
be able to serve my country, but also be able to travel and do things and see the country and do something different than I would expect it to do out here. So my job actually in air traffic control my job in the military was air traffic control,
Mhm.
and that was not a job that you'd go in lightly, and I didn't really do my research on it. It's a very stressful job, and I enjoyed it while I was in it, but it wasn't meant for me per se.
Yeah.
I feel like, oh, why didn't you get out and do it in the civilian sectors? Because I know my limitations, and that just wasn't for me. But then I went active duty for about 2.5 years. Once I started having kids, I was married. My first husband he's actually still in. He was military. I met him in the military. And so once we started having kids, I was like, I'm going to get out, because at that time they started deploying, because I went in 2002. And so like they're talking about deploying and all that stuff because of 9/11 and all that stuff. I was like, I don't want to, deploy and leave at the time we only had one baby. I don't want to leave her, and all that stuff. So I decided to go ahead and separate. And then about 5 years later, I went back in Air National Guard when they were older, and was able to go back in air traffic control. But I was in the radar portion when I was active duty, and then when I went in Air National Guard, I was in the tower.
Mm-hmm. Did you find that was more stressful going from one sector to the other?
No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
The radar is actually the more stressful than the tower part, because
Uh-huh.
in the radar you're like in a dark room, like looking at
Uh-huh.
screens, whereas a tower I'm actually seeing these aircraft take off and land, so I'm
Uh-huh.
actually being able to put eyes on it, and it actually was less stressful. So I did that for about 4 years, and then I completed my contract. I just want to read. I was going through everything. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna get out.
Yeah. Well, we had talked, and you had said that once you got out, that you decided not to go into the civilian side of
Right.
air traffic control.
Mhm.
Was that more stressful, do you think, or did you already just know the stress level and know that you just didn't want to dip back into that?
It was a mixture of both. I mentally, there was something that actually happened when I was in the Air National Guard, not involving me as a controller, but I was in the building when it happened. It was an accident. Two helicopters had unfortunately crashed, and there was a death of a pilot, and that messed me up mentally. So I mentally was not able to do that job anymore. I mentally
Yeah.
basically disqualify myself from that job. So I couldn't do it in the civilian sector, but I wouldn't want to anyway, because it's a lot more demand than the military. Because we're military, I would be, in the civilian world, I'll be in a major airport, or, and I would have a more strenuous work schedule where I was working, 3 or 4 days a week, maybe 5 or 6 hours a day, and that was it. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't have correlated well for me. But after that accident happened, I knew I couldn't do that. Like, knowing that controller was talking to those helicopters, even though he didn't cause it, but just knowing that pressure on you was just too much for me.
Yeah, I understand. I completely understand that. Yeah.
But I'm glad I got the experience, because a lot of people are like, oh, it was air traffic control, because everybody thinks air traffic control is the people that do this, go that way. No.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the glorified pretty version. Yeah. Okay, so when you got out, and I know by the time you got out, how many kids you have? 3 or 4?
3.
3. Okay, just 3. So you had all 3, and they were growing up like weeds, I'm sure. So when you got out, and I know it took you a while to find the trucking industry, as far as going straight from you didn't go straight from military to the trucking industry. So how was your journey getting to the trucking industry?
Honestly, like I said, I've always wanted a job where I could travel. So I found which I thought was my passion at the time, being a massage therapist. And I was like, oh, I could be a massage therapist, combine it with my other love of cruising, and become a massage therapist on cruise ships. Well, that's a long process, and I tried and tried and tried. It didn't work out. And I have family members that are truckers. And so, like, I should have told my cousin about this. He actually was not just retired, but he retired from the Army, and he's a truck driver, and he's been it for a while. And he was telling me about it, and I was like, I never saw myself becoming a truck driver. I was like, I can't. I looked at the manuals for that. I was like, I can't do that. Because I really thought about it, like, in 2014. I was like, I can't do that. You telling me I had to back this trailer into a space?
This is the girl that was an air traffic controller. She's like, I can't do that.
Look, I know, right? I was like, I can tell other people what to do, but I can't physically do it myself. So
that's funny.
After a lot of time of just, like, contemplating, doing research, I really just say, you know what? Let me just try it. At least I can say I tried it, And I came across, I was going to go with one company, and I came across Prime, and that's where I went to training, and I stuck with it ever since. And honestly, it's like, why didn't I do this in 2014? Why? I beat myself up every day for that decision, because this is, like, the best job. I love the independence, the freedom, the ability to travel, and still, in a sense, serving our country.
Yes.
This, so definitely, like, it wasn't immediate, but I found my way here just because of my passion for travel and just passion for doing something different, and I love to challenge myself. So that was really what it was.
Yeah, that's awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, and I feel like, and it's kind of quirky, but I feel like the military and trucking it's not the same, but it's on the same path.
No,
kind of.
It is. I could say it definitely is, because you got to be on time for your appointments in the military. You got to be on time for stuff. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Now, you might get there and you might wait.
To hurry up and wait.
Yes.
Yes.
But there's all these regulations. You got to know your regulations. You got to know this. You got to know that. You got to be willing to change at the drop of a dime. You got to be able to, like, in the military, you might get orders to say, 2 months you might not be where you are. You have to go over here. Whereas, trucking, it's a little bit quicker than that. But you still have to be flexible, and you still have to be able to adapt to change. I say that to even as a trainer and a mentor. You have to be willing to adapt to change and adapt to things being different, and things not being the same all the time.
Yes, I totally agree. Yes. And sometimes, like I was saying, you can kind of tell when people are military, without even, like, so with the decals, you can see. And so many times you see people, you're like, God, I wish your mama would have sent them to the military, because they don't have that sense of I don't want to say urgency, but that sense of commitment. Okay, you've got to be here at this time, which means you've got to, plan your day. And then they'll just be like, oh, I'll get there when I get there. And that's the most irritating thing to me, because sometimes, I mean, the stress levels are high, yeah, but there's reasons that stuff needs to be moved from here to there in a certain amount of time. And so I love when I see people that are dedicated and, they're out there doing their job, knowing what their mission is out here, and so I just absolutely love it. I want to say a shout out to Jess. I did say, I see Jess said, hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful
Hi,
soul.
Jess.
How are you doing?
That's right. Good morning.
Yeah. So,
Good morning, everybody.
So let's say, so your overall assessment, like once you found Prime, and I know Prime is so good about welcoming veterans. When I did get in with my ex-husband, who was a military vet. And so I know that his contract was only 9 months versus the typical 12 months that people have to do. Once you got in, did you have that sense of family once you got to Prime? I'm a Prime girl myself, but I wasn't military. How did you feel when you got to Prime?
I really felt, I still feel that to this day. I'm still very much, oh, there's my dad.
Oh,
Hey, Dad.
hi, Dad. We love Amber, by the way.
feel like
we love your daughter.
Yes, we love our Amber.
I feel like Prime accepted me and took me in with open arms, not only as a military vet, but as a female driver as well. I still feel that way to this day, being almost 5 years later. And it's really what you make of it and how you approach the actual environment. And one thing I do like about it is that you can pretty much go up to, like, my fleet manager when he's there, like, because they can work from home now. I can go up to him at any time and just go have a conversation with him. I can, the fact that Rob Lowe is very just out with his, his employees and drivers and everything like that is very welcoming. But I like the fact that they have the things for, hey mom, sorry,
Hey mom,
That's awesome.
And just being able to that they recognize the veterans, like the people that serve the country. And I know Rob Lowe was also a fellow Marine as well. So that part of it really makes it, because I feel like nowadays, even with my husband just retired from the Air Force this past October, that their veterans, military, active duty, people still serving, veterans and retired people are not respected the way they were like 20 years ago. A lot of places don't value people that have served. People that are in now are some people that are struggling with being in right now, that are struggling with being in the military. They don't like to conform to the rules and the things they have to do. And it's like, that's what the military is. That's my husband. Hey, hubby.
And, hi, hubby.
Hi, hubby.
But I feel that Prime, with the fact that they recognize veterans and they actually, appreciate the service that we pay to the country to kind of pay it back to us. There's not a lot of companies that do that. Like, I'm not just talking about trucking companies. I'm talking about industry-wide, worldwide, nationwide companies
right?
That will say, hey, we'll do this for you because you did this for us. So that's wonderful. To me that's what I love. And I also love pulling the trailers that we have that support our troops.
Yes.
I love that because
cool.
I love it because I have a military truck. Like, my first truck was a blue Air Force truck, and now I have an Air Force Thunderbirds truck. So
that's awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome. I used to love pulling that trailer too. That was one of my favorite. And then it was like, oh, give me a live load so I can keep that trailer. I loved it. So. Yeah. And to answer Jed's question, no, that's not Pretty Boy.
Not
Rob Lowe, the actor.
Different Rob Lowe.
It's like drop the E on the last name, and that's Rob Lowe.
I always do that when people say, "Oh, Rob Lowe, the actor." I'm like, no. First of all, it's two different people. It's two different spellings. Like,
right.
Yeah, that's so funny. But one thing I really like about Prime too, and I did my 2 years with Prime, and then I ended up leaving the company after I had an arm injury. But one thing I loved is the laying of the wreaths. I always get that. I always my lips
I've
get
always wanted to do
frozen.
that.
Yes. Yeah, and and the journey, and I've seen several of my friends online, when they take the pictures, when they get a chance to, and I don't know how they pick their drivers to do that, but that's such an honor, I think, and I think that's really a good thing for a company, and it's such a good visual when you see that out on the road.
Yeah, I think it is too, because it makes us kind of like stand out from the rest. That the fact that they Prime takes their time and effort to donate their time and equipment to transport, thanking the fallen members of the armed forces that made the ultimate sacrifice. I always try to get on. I keep telling my fleet manager, "You're going to get me on there one year. You're going to get me on." I want to do that. I want to do the wreath. Every time they send out the thing, I always put it out there. So hopefully this year. Well,
yeah, hopefully
this year. I won't be this year because I'm actually going on a cruise for Christmas. But next year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Amber's part of who's the gentleman you're co-hosting. Godfrey, is it Alan? For the trucking cruise, the truckers cruise.
Yes, Alan Godfrey. Yeah, we're doing it in 2024, and I forget exactly. I think it's like February 9th, February 11th, or something like that. 2024. Yeah, we wanted to do something that brings like truckers together. You don't have to be just a Prime truck driver. You have to be a truck driver, because I feel like as truckers, we don't take the time off to actually go on vacation. Like you go home, but don't go anywhere. You know what I mean? I'm like, is vacation? No, a vacation is when you leave home, and I'm not talking about a staycation. I'm talking about actually go some miles away, hundreds of miles away. Go somewhere, get on a plane. Try to go on a beach or go see a city or a country you haven't seen before. So we just wanted to put something together. And as it gets closer, we're going to do more like we're going to set up activities and giveaways and stuff like that. We're hoping to at least sell with like 500 people. I think we're at like maybe 70 or 60 people right now. So if y'all want to come, please do. It's 2024.
Yeah.
Is that the Facebook group that we're part of, Missy?
Yes. Yeah, I added it. I added all of our tribe to that group. So yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going, and I'm pretty sure closer to time we're going to be doing more shows so that we can.
A lot of people are like, why is it on an older ship, and why is it only like 4 days? I'm like, because a lot of people have not cruised before. So or it might be 5 days, but we did a shorter one because it's like I don't want to do a 7-day, because there's a lot of people that have cruised. I've cruised on 11 cruises so far. I'm still going to go on that one because it's a cruise. I don't care if it's 2 days. I don't care if I go to the ocean and come back in the same day. It's a cruise. You know what I mean? So that's why it's shorter. But if we could make this like a I don't know, what is it for annual, every other year type thing?
Biannual,
biannual. So that way it could be like a group. Yeah, that way we could just make it a group thing, and then maybe the second one it will be longer, maybe a 6 or 7 day on a newer ship.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Any other truckers out there that want to go on a cruise with us in February of 2024, reach out to one of us because we have a link.
Yes, we will definitely be promoting the heck out of this thing, because and it is a stepping stone. I've been on 3 cruises, and so I'm not at your level or Alan's level. I think he's at 125. It's like, good God.
He's also a travel agent too. That also does it. He just came back, or he's on his way back from Europe. He was on like a European cruise for like 10 days, and then went to see Europe. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I was doing something going to Germany.
We need to be living that life.
Holy
it's like, okay.
Speaking of veterans and America and all that stuff, we just passed a truck that was beautiful. It was called the Truckers Tribute, and it had this beautiful, like I don't know. It was like a tribute, like a mural. But we sent a picture to Jen. I don't know if he can put it up or not on the spot, but it was
I don't
beautiful.
think he can do it last minute like that. He has to load it ahead of time. I don't know if he can do it. We'll have to see if he can get it on.
Up on our page and stuff later, but it was beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that's gorgeous.
way cool.
I love seeing that stuff. And I love seeing the oversized when people pull the pieces of military equipment. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that right there. It's like I always just want to be like, oh, I want a picture of that. It's just so neat.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll just send it to my sons. I'll text it to them like, hey, what's this piece here? It's like nosy mom wants to know. So
Right.
I love seeing that. Yeah. Okay, Amber. So where you're at now, even though you should have done it in 2014, and you have almost 5 years in now?
Almost 5 years in. It will be 5 years in October.
In October. Okay. So for vets getting out, no matter if they've got, 4 years or 20 years, what would you recommend to them coming out of military life? What would you recommend as far as them possibly being interested in this industry? Or what would you just tell somebody transitioning in general? What would kind of be, not really a sales pitch, but what would your advice to them be?
I would say, trucking is it's a good way to transition, because a lot of vets, especially ones that have long-term careers in the military, but also for short-term, it can kind of be overwhelming, because when the military kind of gives you almost everything, they give you your career, they give you your housing, they give you your health care. It can be kind of overwhelming transitioning into doing these things on your own. You're used to getting set pay and all these things. So I would say definitely coming into trucking kind of helps that, because you have almost a same type of stability in a sense. There's so many routes that you can go. There's so many companies that you can go to. And if you're used to just being on the go and traveling and just being more so just being able to just adapt and change and live the minimalist life, especially for those that have employees, that are living in like small quarters, trucking will be perfect for them if they're, especially if they're single, if they don't have families, and it's not hard for them to be separated from them. If they do have families, it's an easy career to transition into, and then be able to meet your financial goals a little bit quicker. So that way you can kind of, especially if you're retiring, you can do this and do it for like 10 years and still collect your retirement check, but also at the same time you're still doing this on the side. So and I also say to people that are wanting to come in the military, that we were talking to somebody in the Facebook group about this, that I want to go in the military but they still want to do trucking. You can do both, because you can serve our country as an Air National Guard or Army National Guard or the reserves and still do this job. You don't have to go active. You want to taste of what the military life is, and at the same time still have a steady income and do all these things. You could do that too. So I would just say, if you're going to do it, do the research and make sure it's something that you can commit to, because you've already done a commitment of 4, 6, 12, 15, 20 years. If you're going to do trucking, it's not like an actual commitment saying you would do it, but you are responsible for the equipment that you're driving and the load that you're pulling and those type of things. So it's still a commitment to make sure you're saying, I'm going to pick up and deliver these goods and products on time, be where I need to be, that type of stuff. So if you already have that type of, motivation, and you're proud about those type of things, and you have a good, strong work ethic, trucking is definitely the best industry, I would say, for a military person.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, that's wonderful. And once our show's over, our resident Jane Furtwanger, did I say it right, Brooke?
Yes, you did. We love her.
We love Jane, and she does a lot of our research for us. And I've had a crappy couple of weeks, and she has been just a dream getting all of our information and different links and stuff. Once our show's over with, I'm going to post on our page probably tomorrow several companies, including Prime, including Rail, and companies that some do a lot of training. Some you can actually use your GI Bill for. And so there's a lot of companies out there that want to help veterans once they, get out and want to transition.
There's also a program too where if you're in the process about to get out, before you're actually out, you can actually do, it's called on-the-job training. where the military still will pay you to go go learn the industry, go learn the trucking industry. And I believe Prime is one of those that participates in that. But yeah, like, because my husband, before, he would be a trucker, but he has unfortunate eye issues right now that we're working through. But he was thinking about doing that when he retired, especially when you're retiring. You got to go through this whole like transition stuff where they'll say, okay, you can take off 3 months. We'll still pay you to go learn this job.
Yeah,
we will definitely provide that link. That's wonderful information for anybody who would like that. So we will definitely try to get that information out and put it on our Facebook page and our website. Yeah.
Okay.
And if the link that I'm going to start it, and I've got quite a bit of information that James helped us get it, or just went out and found for us. So if anybody sees anything, like Amber, if you see something that's not on that list, please feel free to go ahead and add those, like into the comments, and then we'll just edit it as we go. And that could just be an ongoing thing of having a database, for that,
Absolutely.
And I think that would be a wonderful thing for everybody to know about. So that's wonderful. Okay. Well, I am so glad that you joined us today on the eve of the independence. So you stay safe out there. And I'm sure you'll be on one of our next upcoming shows. You said you're working on some podcasts, so I'm excited about that. Is there any air dates that we need to know about?
Let's see. The next Monday, not tomorrow Monday, but the next episode will air on July 18th.
Okay. Awesome. Wonderful. Great. Well, thank you so much. You stay safe out there. And we'll go to the next commercial. Okay. Bye, Amber.
Have a wonderful day. Thanks, Amber.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, this is Pat.
And this is Heather.
For the Misadventures of Pat and Heather, come check us out on our stream. We are unpredictable, unscripted, and un-PC. Oh yeah, that's Tinkerbell too. You might be able to see her too. So come check us out. Only on Trucking Life.
Have you ever thought of live streaming your life behind the wheel? Trucking Life is currently looking for live streamers. Contact us at truckinglife.live@gmail.com for info on how to become part of our growing team of live streamers. Trucking Life, showing the world how it all gets moved from here to there.
Hi.
Hello.
There's Ed and Brook.
Woo!
We've got the baby puppy.
And Trip.
Yep, there he is.
Oh, there's the man.
All here. It's a full truck.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. Well, it is nice to meet you, Brooke.
It's nice to meet y'all too.
That is fantastic.
So now we've got both Brooks on the show.
On the show.
So now Brooks coming to your stereo.
Brooke and Brooke. Where are you guys at today in the world?
Well, we are currently hauling a high-value load, so I will not disclose where I am currently. But we are on a fantastic, phenomenal run out into the district, to the west. We picked up Friday. We drove several hours with it on Friday. We drove all day Saturday. We're off today. We're going to drive all day Monday. We're going to drive half a day on Tuesday, and then we're going to deliver Wednesday morning.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
It's a high-value load. So I can't say.
Oh, yeah. Well, that kind of goes hand in hand with military top secrets, don't it?
What's that?
I said that goes hand in hand with military and top secrets.
Right, yeah. I used to have a security clearance, so there you go.
That's right.
But yeah, so today we're talking about veterans, and in case anyone didn't know, I am a veteran. I used to be in the Army, and I come from a Navy family, but I wanted to go into the Navy, but the Navy wouldn't accept me because of my poor eyesight. But the Army said, oh, we need people, come on in. So I joined the Army right out of high school, almost I had that summer vacation. And then I was in the Army, and I wasn't in for very long. I was in for about a year, and then I had a knee injury, and that basically took me out. and so I got discharged shortly thereafter. But the Army was a phenomenal experience. I really enjoyed it. And, it's a big reason why I'm the person that I am today.
That's fantastic.
Was there any particular questions? I didn't know where we were going with this conversation. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. My screen is frozen with your military picture.
Yeah.
Am I the only one?
No, mine is too.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. We can look at young Ed while we're talking. Oh, there we are.
There we go.
The biggest thing that we
I talked to a female coworker of mine once. She goes, "Holy crap, you were hot. What happened?" I'm like, Jesus.
Rude.
Did you say thanks?
Right.
That sounded like a passive aggressive way of saying you're not. Is that what she was going for? I don't know.
Backhanded comment. I don't know.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, one thing that Ed, that we're talking to our guest about, and we're really wanting to know is, like, how did the military prepare you for transitioning into the trucking industry as it is today?
Sure. So there are a lot of parallels between what life is actually like in the military. Like, not that glamorous stuff that you see on commercials, but like just the day-to-day life in the military. There's a lot of parallels between being in the military and being in a truck. So much so that I was privy to certain conversations when I worked as a CDL instructor between our orientation group and the recruiting group as to why why veterans are so desirable as a pool to draw from to recruit new truck drivers. The big reason is that we're used to weird hours, we're used to hard work, we're used to managing ourselves. Amber was talking a lot about it. You got to be at the right place at the right time in the right uniform, right? Which is basically most of your military life. If you can just be in the right place at the right time in the right uniform, you're gonna do just fine in the military. It's basically all you got to do. You've got to be able to manage yourself. You've got to be able to, basically be by yourself. Like, you have to be self-sufficient so much of the time. But then also, there's some negative aspects about military life that also run parallel with trucking life, and in that there's not a whole lot of glory in it, right? How we've talked about it so much on these shows before about how we're driving down the road and no one really cares about us. No one really, everyone cuts us off and gives us the finger and so on and so forth. But we're hauling your stuff.
Yeah.
But like in the military, like there's so many times, particularly when you're a newer and lower ranked enlisted member, that you're just disrespected on a regular basis by your cadre and by your officer groups. And you've just got to put up with it, and after a while, you just got to let that just roll off your back. And, I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting there, doing basically janitorial work as a, full-fledged military, Army soldier, uniform and everything. And I'm just sitting there mopping the floor and just in my head going, da, 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 right? So, yeah, there's just a lot of parallels between the two that make it really easy to transition from one to the other. If you can put up with military life, you can very easily put up with life as a truck driver. The things that a lot of non-military vets, they get into trucking and they're they see the negative parts of the industry, and they freak out and they just leave. A lot of new drivers, within the first 6 months, they're done. They leave. But for veterans, the stuff that we go through, it's nothing new. We're used to it.
Yeah.
So we put up with it. Basically embracing the suck, as we said.
Yeah, embracing it completely. As far as your transition into the trucking industry out of the military, what was your journey like?
Sure. So my first job when I got out, I wasn't expecting to really get out, right? Injured myself, I had to get I had to get discharged early, so now I'm back home with my parents. So now what do? It wasn't a Class A CDL truck driving job. My first job out of the Army was I was driving a newspaper truck for this newspaper company that my mom worked for, and I'm up at 3:30 in the morning every morning. And the other thing too is you got to I was right out of the Army. I was still relatively physically fit. So these postal containers that weigh thousands of pounds, I could push them around easily, whereas a lot of people would struggle with them. Yeah, so the job, I actually really enjoyed the job. My only issue with it is that the pay was terrible. But if you're in the Army, you're kind of used to I think I only got like $1,200 a month for when I was in the Army. I mean, a lot of stuff is provided for you. My housing, my food, everything was provided for me, so I didn't need a whole lot of money. But at the end of the day, that's you're putting you're signing your life on the dotted line, and that's all the money that you get out of it. So it's definitely not something you do for the money, that's for sure. And I would argue that if you're in trucking for the money, probably not a good idea either. It's got to be something that you really want to do. But yeah, then I got out of the newspaper company. I worked as a salesman for a couple of years. I got promoted a couple of times doing that, but I was never really happy. Working in the office, so I wanted to go back to being a truck driver, so I did. And now I'm in a couple of months it'll be 10 years, and I'm still here, and I'm still loving it. So now I'm here. That's it.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I seen my son posted "embracing the suck" is his favorite phrase of all, and that was the corpsman right there. So,
right.
Let's all look at Ed's name underneath his picture, underneath his video.
Yep.
Q-tip, yeah.
Yeah. That was my nickname in basic training. We were out on the range somewhere, and we were learning how to fire a certain weapon, and some range sergeant singled out one soldier and basically made fun of him. He was from some northern state, maybe it was Alaska, I don't really know, but he was extremely pale, and making fun of him for being as pale as he was. And everybody laughed, including me, and then he pointed me out and said, "What the hell are you laughing at, Q-tip?" And
Oh.
So yeah, there's not a whole lot of people that call me Q-tip, but for those that know, they know, and so I'm Q-tip.
Yeah, I just had to point it out. I thought that was cute, Q-tip. So yeah.
Funny.
Not that I want to put you on the spot, Brooke, but Ed's Brooke. How's that? We need to decipher which one we're talking about. I know you're not on the truck with Ed all the time, but how is it for you being home with him being out on the road?
I mean, it can be hard. I mean, it's like anybody, you're spending every day with somebody. And you go, well, most of the time when he goes out, I mean, it's usually 2 months at a time. Lately, it's been less than that. It's been like 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks, because we've had like other things going on. But, and all my family and friends, like, known him forever. We've been together a long time. Like, they always ask me, like, they always check on me, and I'm always, and that's what I do. Like, I always spend time with family and friends and all that, so to occupy my time, but they're just like, I just don't know how you do it and everything. But I don't know. Like, I think for us in general, like when he first started to get into truck driving, like went to CDL school, we were dating at that time, and we had already known each other for a long time at that time. And when he first got his CDL and started going on the road and working doing that, I was in nursing school at the time. So I don't know, it just worked out because I was already busy doing my own thing and he was working. So when he came home, it was like, okay. But I just feel like if he was already a truck driver or going through that and we were in like a newer relationship, I think it would be a lot different.
Yeah.
I don't, it's a hard thing to do.
I suckered her into it right off the bat, she fell in love with me first, and then I became a truck driver. That's how you got to do it.
Right.
but it's hard. And
Yeah.
you know, like I tell my family and stuff, you know, like, you know, it's hard for it just being me and him not
Mhm.
being home. But
Yeah.
then at the same time, like, I don't know, I feel like it would be a lot harder for me if we did have children.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then if we did too, I wouldn't really see him being over the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least not as long.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe for a few days.
Yeah. That's one thing that I'd love for us to do as Trucking Life is to have wives on the show and do kind of a, or husbands too, people who are, you know, manning the front on the home side. Yeah. And
Yeah.
even just like I know that you and Ed, it's just you and Ed and Trib. But, you know, people that, you know, you've got your own, and I'm glad that you have that family support system, you know, that helps you out. But I'd like to do a future show about that. How do you cope, or how do you make it day to day, you know, when somebody's gone? So we might be bugging you again in the future, just letting you know. So
Okay, that's fine.
yeah. Ed was talking about him being we've known that he was a CDL instructor for rail. How long were you in there? 3 years?
3 years as an instructor, and in my final year, I was a supervisor.
You were a supervisor. Okay. So when you went in as the instructor, and I know that you had, what percentage would you say that people coming through your company was military?
I would say, I think the number you said earlier was 10%. So I would say it was probably right about that, if not a little bit more, maybe somewhere between 10 to 20%. Seems as if you know, we did classes of 8 every week, and I would say out of our classes of 8, it was very rare that none of them were veterans. Usually at least 1 or 2 were veterans. And every now and then you got lucky and you got a truck full of veterans. I've told that story. So, but yeah, no, it was usually at least 1 or 2.
Okay.
That's cool.
The Ed story of the Full Metal Jacket was a side of Ed that we rarely see. So.
Oh my gosh, that show! I'm hoping we can archive somewhere, because we got to keep that on lock. That was the best ever.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah. Well, okay. If you were to pick one student that you had that just kind of sticks in your memory, as far as and them being coming out of the military, who would that be?
It would probably be this guy. Is a good friend of mine. His name's Brian Hornbrook. He, I don't remember what he did in the Army. I think he was a communications guy like me. I think that's the reason why we got along so well. We kind of had similar stories. But the thing that I really loved about having him in the truck is that our sense of humor was like this. You know, in that basically, if we weren't full on insulting each other, you know, the entire day, and we were having a bad day, we were actually mad at each other for whatever reason. But yeah, no, his goal for the entire month was to piss me off, and he never did it. You know, I can't tell you how many times, like, you know, he would make a turn and, you know, he'd do something stupid. You know, he'd scratch a gear, he'd curb a tire, you know, he'd forget to turn off his turn signal. He would do something, right? And I would point it out to him, you know, you know, it's like, you know, look, you know, if you weren't such a I'm not going to curse, but you know, if you weren't such an ate-up, you know, driver, you know, maybe you'd remember to actually do your freaking job for once. And he'd be like, well, you know, maybe if you weren't such a shitty instructor, you know, maybe.
Oh my gosh!
Maybe I would actually remember to do some of these things for once in a while. You know, how about you actually teach me? So yeah, it was like that for an entire month, and it was phenomenal. Like it was great. And he turned into an excellent driver.
So you guys still?
Yeah, we're still friends.
Are you guys still really good friends now?
Yeah, no.
That's awesome.
It's just military people just you know, just talking crap to each other. You know, it's just the way we are. And but he ended up quitting trucking. He's actually a pilot now, and which I think is really cool.
Wow.
He's going. Yeah, he got his pilot's license. I don't know what his career path is. I don't know if he's trying to get on with, you know, Delta or United or whatever, but you know, he's doing these little private little puddle jumper type flights, you know, regional airport to regional airport. And he's happy, you know, he's up in the air. So
Well, that's cool.
and I couldn't be more proud of him. He's a great dude. Love him to death.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Trip is deciding that he wants to be the show that you guys have been talking too long.
Right.
Right.
He's like, y'all aren't paying enough attention to me.
Okay. Well, the final question I think I have for you, Ed, and I asked Amber the same question. What kind of advice would you give to somebody transitioning out of the military or getting ready to get out? What advice would you give them as far as getting into the trucking industry?
So what I would say is a lot of these companies that pay a lot of lip service towards, you know, loving their veterans, loving their troops and all that. For a lot of these larger companies, that is what it is. It's just lip service. They don't actually offer any particular benefit or anything like that. They plaster, you know, support our troops on side of the trailer, and that's roughly it. The reason why I bring that up is don't let somebody else's lip service give them a reason to disrespect you or to treat you poorly, right? Because there's so many companies that are relying so much on veterans for their labor because we're used to the suck, right? And so they use that as a reason to continue poor business practices, and it's not right. And you know, it's not right for them to do it to a non-veteran, nor is it right for them to do it to a veteran just because the veteran might let them get away with it. So don't let them telling you that they love their veterans give them a reason to disrespect you. The other thing that I would point out is if you are looking into joining the trucking industry and you're looking at one of these, you know, because basically we all have to do the same thing, right? We got to start at some big box company. We got to cut our teeth and get our experience. If you're gonna do it, look for a company that does the apprenticeship program, because that's something that I did. It's a 2-year program. It kind of sucks to stay with some of these companies for 2 years, but it kind of gives you an opportunity to cash in your GI Bill a little bit, and you walk away with a whole bunch of certifications. You know, if you look at my little bio, I've got a whole lot of certifications. You know, including the you know, I'm certified by the Department of Labor as a master truck driver. That's what that is. So it's a veterans program done through the Department of Labor that just gives you like a huge education in the trucking industry. And by the time you're done with it, if you can make it through the 2 years, you are a certified master driver. You can drive basically anything. You can go work anywhere, and you can make a crap ton of money. That's the way to go. And then the whole time you're going through the program, you're cashing in your a percentage of your basic allowance of housing and sustenance. So like, you know, not only are you making, you know, whatever pay you're getting from your trucking company, but you're also getting some extra money because you're going through school, and so you get some extra money out of it, and it makes it worth it.
Okay. Well,
I love
like I said
that.
earlier.
Great.
Yeah.
Great advice. Thank you for that, Ed.
Yeah.
Rail does it. Schneider does it. I don't know if Prime does it. So that would be something for us to research. You know, not just companies that like their veterans, but which companies actually do an apprenticeship program.
Yeah, Jane has done a lot of the research already, and so I'm going to post a lot of that tomorrow. And so if there's something on there that we haven't caught or haven't found, we encourage anybody who knows of companies that do the apprenticeship program, or just, you know, whatever they offer, you know, to add to that. So we're going to work on making that a daily, or not a daily, but you know, we're going to update it as we go along. If somebody sees something that needs to be added.
Excellent. Sounds great to me.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you all for showing up and
we love you
telling us
guys.
your story.
And thank you for your service, Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
No problem. Anytime.
And I'm so glad that we. And I'm so glad to see the three of you out there just having a ball. How long are you going to be out, Brooke?
Until the end of the month.
I think July 24th was the day we were shooting to go home.
Yeah, I have one of my younger sisters has her bachelorette like getaway in Florida beginning of August, so I gotta make it for that.
Oh yeah, can't miss that.
Yeah.
Can't miss that.
If not, I'll stay out a little bit longer.
Yeah, can't miss that. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being on, and happy 4th to you guys. Are you guys stopping tomorrow? are you going to be stopping tomorrow to enjoy the festivities somewhere, or are you just going to be rolling?
We're rolling wherever we stop. We're gonna be somewhere out in the desert. So I'd like to hope that we'd be able to see, whatever fireworks are going to be out there. We're going to be out in the desert, so should be able to see something.
Yeah, you should be able to see something out there. Wonderful. Okay, well, happy 4th to y'all, and we will see you guys soon. And we're getting ready to get a commercial, and then we're going to find out some fun unknown facts. I don't know. Ed might know all these facts, and he could put in the comments if he knows these facts. But some little known facts of the holiday. All right.
Excellent.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Come check out our new website at www.truckinglife.live and get to know some of the people you pass by on the interstates. The truckers who've committed their career to moving commodities by way of an 18-wheeler, also known as a semi-truck. At Trucking Life, our passion is showing the world how it all gets moved from here to there, and that we are doing. On our website, you'll find live streamers and the links to their pages, podcasts, blogs, photo galleries, videos, live shows, and so much more. And for all the truckers and trucking enthusiasts, you can check out our merchandise. Our VIP fan club, as well as industry training, public service announcements, partner links, and a growing database of information. Our passion is showing the world how it all gets moved from here to there. Our business is doing it with class. Come join the tribe at Trucking Life and see what our new website is all about.
I love our new website. I don't know.
Me too. I love that commercial.
Yeah, and I love our commercial. A couple of commercials, maybe before that, about needing new streamers. Because if you look at our stuff, and we've got some streamers, and we have a lot of creative content providers. What are we calling them now? Digital creators. Okay,
Content creators.
but we definitely need more streamers. Yeah. There we go. But yeah, we definitely want more. So, and we love the fact that people get out there and you see the world through their windshield, And so I think that's great. And we're looking for you guys. So that's my selfless promotion right there to get anybody to come on board. So
there you go. I love it.
Okay. I put on my glasses so hopefully I can see the comments if anybody knows these answers.
Right.
And I forgot to ask Jed to put on some Jeopardy music, but here we go. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Who is the main author of the Declaration of Independence? Anybody? Bueller.
John Hancock.
No, you're close. Thomas Jefferson.
Okay.
Thomas Jefferson. And also on the drafting committee was Benjamin Franklin, which I knew that. John Adams, I knew that. Roger Sherman, didn't know that. And Robert Livingston. So those are the 5 that drew up the Declaration of Independence. Okay. Heather might know this one. Who was the first to sign the Declaration of Independence?
John Hancock. Okay. See, I did. Well, Pat gave me the info.
Don't fucking blame me.
Because I never paid attention in history. I was horrible in history. I got to get fat.
Okay, Heather. Let me give you a hint. You just said it.
Oh, John Hancock?
Woo! She got it. Woo! Yes, he was the first and also the biggest signature. So you know where that phrase comes from of putting your John Hancock on something when you sign something. So yeah, that's why. Okay. What day was it voted on to gain independence from Great Britain? And I'll give you a hint. It was not July 4th.
Second. Third. I don't know.
Okay.
But the
Did Pat say
second?
the second? Did Pat say the second?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pat is right. Yes. And that's when they actually voted to gain independence. Okay. And I think it was John Adams, maybe, who refused to celebrate it on the 4th. Whenever there was a party, he refused to go to it because he always said it was the second. Now, that might be a backstory. I need to research of why they waited 2 days, but it is the second.
Got the record right.
Okay,
Interesting.
next one. Yes. So next one. This one's kind of an obscure one. What was the first newspaper to print the Declaration? This is like one of these. Unless somebody's really good in trivia. The Pennsylvania. That's what I would have. That's what I would have guessed. It was the Pennsylvania Evening Post. Okay. Dead Sad New England Press. Okay. No. So yeah, Pennsylvania was the first one to announce it.
Okay.
Okay.
Which makes
how
sense.
many people? Yeah, I guess it makes sense being where it's at. Up there, close to Philadelphia and all that. So yeah, I mean that does make sense. Okay. Right. How many people were living in the nation in July of 1776? Anybody want to guess?
How many?
How many people were in this country?
Oh, I don't know that answer.
I don't know.
2.5 million.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's not a lot of people.
Yeah. You know how many we have? Do anybody have a guess? How many is in the country today?
More than 2.5?
Ding ding. Heather, you get the award. We are currently, according to as of last year, we had 331.8 million people.
That's a big difference.
That's a big difference from 2.5.
So let's use that in perspective. So 2.5 back in 1776. What big city or metro area is about that size? I wonder.
There's what 8 million in New York City, I think. I think it's 8 million in just that little small area.
There are more people in New York City alone in that metro area than there were in the entire country in 1776. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
when you put
crazy.
That in perspective.
I know, and then you look over we're almost to the 250 mark almost for the country. So, and look how much we've I can't even say quadrupled. I don't even know what numbers beyond that. We are way 100 times bigger.
Right.
I hope I'm not even that far from saying that because I don't want to be on some meme show of someone who doesn't know her numbers. So
right. Right.
Yeah.
Lots. We'll just say lots.
Lots of people. Okay, here I've got 2 more. Okay, so no, I've got 1 more. Sorry. What 3 presidents? This is a really quirky one. What 3 presidents died on July 4th? There's a hint. Ooh. 2 of them died on the same July 4th, and it was the 50th anniversary of the country, and then 1 died 5 years later. So I'll give you the hint on the date, and maybe that'll help. Okay, so on July 4th, 1826, 2 of them died.
What?
1826.
I'm gonna say John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe.
Okay, Melissa's going to look really stupid, but I didn't write down the first 2. I'm pretty sure I think it's Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. Did you look it up?
Hold on, I'm going to Google it.
Oh, you cheater!
It's Thomas Jefferson.
I was a lifeline, okay? I was a lifeline.
Well, I'm glad you cheated because I didn't write it down. Yeah, you used your lifeline, and I wrote down the last one. John Monroe was the one who died in 1831. So, okay. Heather
You know
saved
what?
the day by cheating. So, okay. Heather
You know
saved
what?
the day by cheating.
You guys were right. Pat was right, or Heather was right. John Adams,
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson, and James
Yes.
Monroe.
Yes.
That's
I remember
crazy.
reading it, but then it's like I forgot to write down the answer. So, yes. Isn't that crazy?
That's
They
funny.
died on the day of our independence. So, yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes. Yes. So there's a little useless or little known trivia. I should say that's not useless. Who knows when you're going to be in trivia in a bar somewhere and you're going to be like, I know this. And you're going to look super brilliant. Exactly.
Great.
And you can
You
say
all
trucking
agree,
life.
because I know it. That's right.
That's right. Well, I think today's show was a fantastic show and loved the guests that we had on. And we had no technical difficulties, which was fantastic. Sometimes I think the internet or the restream or the Facebook, backwoods, or, the back panels just kind of decide who's going to go and who's not. So I'm thankful we're here today. So I do want to bring up, we do have a Blitz week coming up. And I think it's next week. July 10th through the 16th is going to be Operation Safe Driver Week. And rumor has it that it's not going to be just commercial vehicles, that they're actually going after passenger vehicles who are being unsafe. So that will be Johnny for the toe.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, we're not seeing the toe. If everybody knows, poor Johnny had a little piggy that did not go to the market. So
it was like that. It was like.
Yeah, between him and Jen rearranging her pinky. So, yeah, in a freak. I don't want to say ladder accident. Yeah. So bless her heart.
By a ladder.
Yeah. Bless her heart. But you all be careful out there this week. And watch out for the DOT and make sure everything looks good on your truck and make sure your pre-trips and your post-trips are all great. Avoid the four-wheelers, and hopefully the four-wheelers will get dinged for being stupid and running in front of us. So, yeah. So
I do want to say, too, that, to all the veterans who are watching, whether they're truck drivers in the industry, been in the industry, not in the industry, anybody who has served our country and has put their life on the line or sacrificed in any form for the freedoms that we are currently enjoying on this holiday weekend. We're so grateful, from our families here at Trucking Life. We sure love you, and we appreciate your sacrifices and your services, whether you're past veterans, currently serving, or thinking about it. We appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely. It's one of my, I love seeing the support, and if anybody knows what the military goes through, we don't know every inkling of it, but we get it. We get an idea, being out there. One of our guests was going to be my friend John Missarian. He's with Prime, who happened to get pulled in today for a level 1 inspection right before the show.
No,
which he passed. There's John Mark. Yeah. And so we've had a lot of conversations. He had 20 years in the Navy. And so I told him that hopefully around Veterans Day, we'll be able to do another veterans related show. Yeah. Absolutely. And so, but I'm happy for, Amber's journey and for Ed's journey. And hopefully by the fall, we will be doing another show and having some more guests. And I love the fact that we talk about everybody's journey, military, trucking, whatever. So I hope you guys have a fantastic July 4th. Spend it with family, friends, get your rest. And if I go MIA for 8 days, you guys know why. So
you enjoy going MIA.
Yes, I'm going MIA. So. Yes, I am. Going to enjoy it. All right. Well, I love you guys.
Love you long time.
Love you long time.
Love you long time.
Bye, y'all. Bye, everybody.
Come join us at Trucking Life. Help us show the world how it all gets moved from here to there. truckinglife.live@gmail.com.
You're watching TruckingLife.live. Thank you for being with us today. Please like, follow, and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any more great content. We'll see you out on the road.